The Hustleshare podcast is sponsored by One CFO, the Philippines' leading fractional CFO services provider for startups, scale-ups, and SMEs. Experience the power of tech-enabled, efficient, affordable, and expert-led fractional CFO services. Let One CFO handle your finances so you can focus on growing your business. Book your free CFO consultation today.
I'll tell you one thing. Most people don't know that insurance as an industry in the Philippines has been around almost 130.
What?
Ganun katagal na. Panahon pa ng mga bayani natin, di ba? But
Rizal had a...
Bonifacio.
May nambudol kay Rizal.
1898, no? I wonder if our heroes were insured. Right? Imagine. Right? Maybe the reason why some of them
Someone made a claim for Rizal's death?
Maybe that's why some of them were very brave, right? Because they had insurance, right? So.
Welcome to Hustleshare, the podcast that features the daily grinds of unique hustlers around the world to show not our differences, but that our hustles are very much alike. Now here's your host, Ronster Baetiong.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Share Podcast. We are so happy to be live in person. It's been a while since I've been stuck in Zoom land. Apologies because, man, startup life is startup lifing all the time. And just like you, whoever you're listening to, you're probably a startup guy or a startup founder. Again, we got to do what we got to do. But today is a very, very special episode because we have one of the biggest, if not the biggest, financial institutions, especially in the not just here, in the whole Southeast Asian region in terms of insurance. But before we get carried away, let's welcome the CEO of Singlife Philippines, Mr. Lester Cruz. Lester, welcome to the show.
Wow, sounds like a boxing introduction.
Yes, I am a boxing
announcer, right?
Nah, that's the staple. We've been doing this for 6 years. Again, super duper excited to have you because, again, I'm looking at your LinkedIn real quick. And you've been around. And a lot of the companies you've been at, I've had their founders or CEOs here before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, UD, Citi, and all that. So, again, very, very interesting. But again, before I get carried away, I need to ask you the $1 million question. Lester, what's your hustle?
My hustle, I am a true blue financial services professional. And currently, as you mentioned, I am the current CEO of Singlife Philippines.
Yep.
And I'm enjoying the digital, startup financial services, era at this point.
I love it. Thanks so much. And again, Singlife, man, just the sing in Singlife obviously refers to
Singapore.
Not singing, okay? We're not here to sing, okay?
Yeah, we don't sell video key like a Singlife. No? We're a life insurance company.
This is not Magic Sing, okay?
No.
No, I love it. And again, you guys are right up there at the top of what really making sure that things and people and businesses are insured, right? And we'll go through that later because again, we want to also know what are the changes you've had. I know some of your colleagues came from the previous sponsors of Hustleshare, like Franchette. Shout out Franchette. I worked with Franchette before when she was still in Salmon, technically. And again, it's a big shout out. But before I get carried away, bro, I need you to buckle up. There's a seat out there, imaginary, okay. Real quick. Okay.
I'm tightening it up.
Yeah,
right.
let's do
go.
it. Because we're going to have to go all the way back to where you started. Because every single hustler had to go through struggle. Because we're going to have to ride the Hustleshare time machine. We're all the way back. And again, every single hustler there's no such thing as a hustler that's born. Every one of us was made. But before we were made, we all had inspiration or influence into how we were able to get to where we are. Sure. I want to understand from your POV, who was the first people that you saw hustle and how did that influence you to what you are?
Sure. At the time that I was actually coming out of the university,
okay.
Of course, I was looking at the opportunity on where I could actually make a big impact. And
okay.
I had the privilege of having, both backgrounds as an entrepreneur. My father is an architect and likewise an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And my mother was a career banker.
Oh, right. So there's a banker in the house.
Yes.
Okay.
So fortunately or unfortunately, at the time that I was, the time that I was in the university, it was during not too long ago, the
Okay.
Asian financial
Kahapon
crisis.
Kahapon. Okay.
Kahapon lang. Asian financial crisis.
98, 99.
Yeah. The business of my dad was in the best shape at that
Right,
time. It
right.
had its challenges.
Mhm.
And of course, the nurturing mother would always say, anak, sa bangko, nandun ang pera, right? That's what I thought. Apparently, it didn't belong to her, right?
Okay.
But so I ended up, coming out of the university and to immediately join the financial services, sector and never left. From then on, right? I joined, one of the good management trainee programs.
MTs.
In then called International Exchange Bank, but now is actually Union Bank because they bought the bank, and that's where I learned
Okay.
a lot of the very difficult fundamentals that I had to learn in the financial service. I used to do door to door, believe it or not. No? The
When you say door to door,
mapping.
what does...
The door to door mapping? It's like Electrolux. Naalala mo yan, right?
Yes.
Right. So because I covered the corporate, I had the opportunity to cover corporate before.
Okay.
So even in the buildings, again going all the way back in Ortigas,
Okay.
when you do on client calls, sometimes part of being a trainee is that hey, you do a cold call.
Wow.
And let's see what you come back with, right? So I went through that process, and as I have matured and learned, I was able to build some of the sophistication and the skills that allowed me to take on the bigger responsibility. So I've stayed there for a few years until I've gotten the opportunity to join one of the global banks, bigger global banks, which was Citi.
Wow.
Which I've
Citi again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Citi. So after I graduated the management trainee program, stayed there for a while longer than
14 years, 11 months, according to your...
I-round mo na ng 15.
Sayang. Okay. But I want to understand. I'll just go back to the IEB...
International Exchange Bank.
Yeah, IEB experience. Because as a hustler, as an entrepreneur and whatnot, I believe that sales or anything that's basically requires you to persuade people is one of the most fundamental skills you can learn as a young guy. Because number one, it basically obliterates your ego.
Yeah.
Because in business, I don't care what you do and what you're trying to be, right? You will always be in the business of rejection.
Yes.
This is what this game is all about.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna say no to you, and vast majority of the time, somebody's gonna say no, right?
Yeah.
And if you already get your skin thickened by that, it's just okay. It becomes a numbers game.
Yes.
But aside, I want to understand first before you go to Citi, because obviously you're gonna be evolving that there multiple times over. You wouldn't be staying in the company for 15 years more or less if it did not involve. But what other skills did you develop early on that you still technically carry with you today?
It's really, I think, being very clear on the whys of the things that you're actually doing to just really keep yourself motivated. And,
What was the why?
Well, I wanted to establish myself as as a reputable financial services career professional.
Got it. You got it from your mama.
Eh, nandun, make your mama proud, right? Like,
You
I cannot embarrass my mom. She was known in the industry,
Okay.
right? So, right. So, and there was an ongoing joke at that time, coming from my, some of my mentors and boss, tell me that in this profession, dalawa lang ang puhunan. Pabango, tsaka suelas ng sapatos, right? And you go around and then you talk to people.
Right.
Right. And being able to handle to what you were mentioning a moment ago as, the rejection.
Yeah.
Is something that most people, as they start, they take it very personally. But truth be told, salespeople, nobody owes salespeople any response.
Nope.
Right? And if you take it personally, maybe you're in the wrong line of business. It'd be a very difficult time. And one key takeaway that I'd always have is that I go by the saying that life in sales is an emotional roller coaster. Right? So sometimes, you're doing all out, everything that you can do, nothing is happening. And sometimes you're just sitting and things are just happening. And, cannot predict, what's going to happen for the day, but you just have to remain consistent in everything that you do.
Correct.
And I think that stays close into my heart.
No, totally true. I literally just a couple weeks ago, or this week, No, last month, one of my salespeople in Podcast Network Asia, like, man, all right, this is our KPI every month. This is basically echoing what you say, that sales, it's a roller coaster ride. It looks like the Richter scale, and it happens to the best of us.
Yes.
I don't care how good you are as a persuader, salesman, you will always have slumps.
Yep.
But what defines a great persuader or a leader is, what do you do when you hit rock bottom?
Yep.
How fast do you bounce back up?
Yes.
Right? And the one thing that you can have control of is your emotion. If you take
Correct.
things personally and you ruminate,
Yep.
and he's like, oh, I'm just going to be down the dumps forever, then it's a downward spiral. You'll never be able to bounce back. And by the time you want to bounce back,
It's
you're
too
already
late.
hit. You're
Yeah.
struck out.
You're
You're already
struck out.
fired.
You're struck out.
So you need to be even keeled. The consistency of your effort to be able to still go in there as if nothing happened, as if you didn't get 10 rejections prior,
Yep.
and you pivot along the way, super duper important.
But because if you remain, if you remain diligent, no, you earn the privilege of being able to say na kung nahihirapan ako, siguro sila lahat din, di ba? Because some people, it's easy to think that, oh man, this is just stuff for me.
Yeah.
Only for you to realize that, look, you know what? Maybe 99% of everybody around is going through the same process, and how you're able to separate yourself
Correct.
from the 99% others is going to be the X factor that you can bring along for many, many more years
Totally.
of your professional life, and even on the personal side as well.
Correct. And at the end of the day, you got to take the L's, because the L's are the path to a W, right? And in sales, especially in the game of persuading, whether you're selling a little Electrolux or whatever item, or all the way to $1 million deal, you will always get no's. That's the constant. But at the end of the day, what you can control is how you approach every single sale as if nothing happened. And one of the things I actually learned, and I want to understand from your perspective on this before we move on to your city life, because in Citi, I'm pretty sure you've bit a shitload of things before. And you've heard internally pa lang, not externally anymore, or not even externally. A lot of people say no to you and doubt you internally, right? But you got to persist. But one of the things I mastered through the years is that in terms of rejection, the emotion that I'm able to really get, I try to have a short-term memory, or I use it as a chip on my shoulder, that I don't ever want to feel that again, and I use it as a trigger to work harder. Right? You find your way how to dig yourself out of the thing. But I want to understand from you on your worst rejections earlier on in your career, because again, you came from DLSU, management trainee, then you're gonna ask you to freaking go out. Your earliest rejections, how were you able to then manufacture that into something that keeps you going on days that we run out of motivation to keep going?
Well, first and foremost, at least in the life of sales, what keeps me sane is that I believe in the saying, God will provide. No, so
Yes.
if people are gonna ask me when is my next, where my next sale is gonna come, at the back of my mind or at the top of my mind, it's there. But you'd have to be diligent, right? But because to me, the moment that you have that in you, it allows you to have a more open mind. And again, maybe one part of it is that I am quite competitive as well, right? I'm quite competitive, and that one
You're in it to win it every time.
And in the Cruz household, I wanted to share with you. We go by this saying that it's either we do it with all our heart or we don't do it at all. Right? Because we don't want to have regrets that, hey, man, I could have been first, man. It's just that I didn't train hard enough. No, excuse. That's an excuse. So to me, it's the competitive, side. I guess it helped because I played competitive sports.
Yep.
Growing up, from a kid to a teenager, and that made me comfortable. Which culturally, maybe for the most part Filipinos, but sometimes other races as well.
Yeah.
Culturally, most people don't want to be compared.
Nope.
Right? Pero kung sa sales, hinihilera yung mga pangalan
There's always a totem pole.
Right?
Right?
Ito, number 10 na, paresign na ata. You just don't want that.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I want to happen, again, to the motivation, again, part of, maybe the perils of being a competitive person, ayaw mo napapahiya.
Correct.
So,
Pride.
like you said, nobody promised me a bonus, a promotion, or whatever, pero yung kahihiyan diba? So it's important, and again, make your mama proud. My mom tells me, don't do ever don't do anything that will taint the your
cruise
name,
name.
and the cruise name, and it goes in perpetuity, right? So
Right.
I think that's really it.
That's amazing. And again, those are the things that you have to be able to have in your bag. Because sometimes motivation is not enough. So it's like, all right, if motivation does not exist today, you go deep, you dig deep, and use that as a way to propel you forward. And at the end of the day, you sprinkle that with being positive. Because
Yeah.
when you're optimistic that things will turn for the better every single time, you attract it. It might seem corny, but I have not seen a great salesman who is pessimistic.
Yeah.
How the hell are you supposed to sell? It will come out in what you're going to say in your
Yep.
body language and everything else that you do. It just not convert. And that's what I want to talk about now in Citi. Okay, so now you did the MT program in IEB, very early on. I want to understand the first few because there's so many titles here.
So they gave me all the
They gave
jobs
you all
that
the
nobody
titles,
wanted to
but
do, right?
walk me through the first half, I would say, on how you came into Citi. Because when you came in, this is where at the start of digital era, and then it became mobile eventually, right?
Yes,
I want
yes.
to understand the evolution of it because obviously it provided the foundations of how you're going to be the CEO of Singlife eventually.
Yep.
Walk me through those foundational years and what skills did you acquire naman during those times?
Sure. Of course, I had I was fortunate to have been able to build good fundamentals from the management trainee program. But now I am coming, from a local brand to a very well established and reputable global brand. So papasok pa lang ako sa pinto. Ito na yung local banker. You get you get judged already. So because again, part of maybe I have very many people that that I've gone
In
through that
Paseo de
process.
Rojas.
Diba?
Ayan.
Punta mo, diba? Then to me it's like, saan ako nang galing? Magaling na ako eh. Baka then you have doubts, no?
Yeah.
Can I repeat? Is my success
Correct.
in the other company repeatable?
Correct.
But to me, how I've channeled that, that I'd say, a negative vibe into positive energy is that I still had, again, even to this very day, I still have that fire in the belly.
Yes.
So I use all those, feedback, comments, and criticism as logs to
Chip
fuel
on your shoulder.
the fire in my belly.
Correct.
Sabi ko, diba, kung saan ako nang galing, kaya ko din. I can repeat, hindi chamba. Right? And maybe that's another principle that I live by, because the moment you become confident in your craft, right, you know that the stuff that you'd be able to accomplish are not because of sheer luck.
Nope.
Hindi chamba.
This is a formula.
You know it's repeatable. And
Correct.
for salespeople, sometimes they say, oh no, kalahati na ng buwan. Diba? Parang wala pang
Patay.
benta. Right? But as you gain experience, kalahati na ng buwan, meron pa tayong kalahating buwan. Right? And we will get there and we will close, so strongly. So that has been, memorable, experience for me. It also, I guess, helped that, my initial, and I am not embarrassed to share, my initial journey, transitioning into a much bigger and global, bank wasn't easy. I didn't get, I probably, didn't get promoted in the longest time for the, the level and the role that I came into.
Yeah.
Right? Because siguro, again, it's, there are things that I need to work on.
Yep.
Before you're in denial, baka baka medyo, I'm just not being, put in the same line. But after a while, you take the feedback. Right?
You use it.
You use it. As I always say, taking in the feedback, responding positively to the feedback doesn't mean you agree with the feedback.
Yes.
But feedback is feedback, and the best way to respond to it is positively, and you learn. You learn how to navigate the organizational savvy.
Yes.
You learn better how to to be more persuasive, how to build credibility, and that had actually unlocked a lot of the subsequent career steps and moves that happened. Kasi before I was young, you know that again, hi to my mom. But my mom tells me na, anak, galingan mo lang, lalabas din yan.
Correct.
Diba? But apparently there's the relational side of things pala. Sabi ko sa nanay ko,
There's layers pa.
Hindi mo pala tinuro sa akin yan. Diba? So I had to learn it. But you build your confidence from the skill and the mastery. But the softer side things and how you build and establish relationship, even to people you're not selling anything to, has been important. And that had propelled my journey from the very many roles that I've took on in that company. And to this very day, again, I have vivid memories of the bittersweet memories and the fruitful and tearful experiences, which I wouldn't have it any other ways.
No, for sure. And at the end of the day, and these are the experiences that are worthwhile, because this is what a lot of kids sometimes miss out now. Especially sometimes the kids who are raised, let's just say, with a little bit more things came easy for them. That I'm just gonna work and my reward is waiting for me. There's in a proper corporate environment, actually anywhere, entrepreneurship is the same.
Yep.
You always have to prove yourself, because nothing's guaranteed. And the sooner you learn delayed gratification, and the sooner you learn that hustling should humble you, not make you more. It's weird, because hustling should make you humble, but also make you confident through the repetition.
Yes.
But if the outcome is it makes you cockier and whatnot, then you won't learn a lesson. And somehow, some way, life will teach you to just become humbler and humbler. And this will be a constant reminder. Hey, you're getting too cocky. Chill lang, blah, 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 blah. And the more you realize that, okay, I just had to earn my stripes, that eventually the path isn't a competition that me versus everyone, that apparently the way you get on top is you'll eventually and inevitably need help from your peers anyway. Success is a team sport.
Yes.
Correct? And if you're going to be able to get everyone to buy in to not just what you do and also be beneficial to everybody's work, then that's where the magic happens. How did that happen to you when you said that, okay, I needed to learn the soft skills? Because I'm pretty sure you already came in and you know what you're made of. You're guns blazing, you're confident. But when you learned how to tap into everybody's needs and wants and align it with you, what did that unlock?
Well, what I've realized back then is that doing well in what you're doing was clearly not enough.
Yep.
Right? And having the wrong kind of it's either the wrong kind or the lack of interaction on the successes and the accomplishments that you have can actually be detrimental to you. Kasi sometimes they find you yabang naman ito, or diba? Hey, you'll have to graduate from not graduate but avoid being to your point, too full of yourself.
Yep.
Because sometimes number one na umuumpog na ako sa ceiling, wala nang room, diba?
Yeah.
But that I think you were spot on the moment ago, just keeping yourself grounded, making people who are maybe who've not achieved just yet the successes that they're aiming for, not feel inadequate.
Yep.
Oh man, is a key that unlocks lifelong relationships. Absolutely. How you're able to encourage, because mag-umpisa tayo, we encourage ourselves, driven, passionate, right? But at some point, that positive energy, you gotta light the fire. You gotta light the fire of the people around you. Then you don't become a threat. Right? Because I think the perils of being a highly successful individual is that it's inevitable that some people around you will view you as a threat.
Correct.
And you'll have to eliminate not the person, but you not the person, but you being a threat. You gotta eliminate that. Hey, dude, I am here. We're wearing the same uniform. We're playing in the same team, and I'd be happy to see more successful people.
Yep.
And that will allow you to learn as well, because the moment you open up, the others open up as well, and be true to ourselves, right? There are many skills and quirks and things that you can learn from other people.
Correct.
You're not well-rounded, especially when you're starting. You will have your natural inclinations and capabilities, but for you to become well-rounded, you'll have to draw strength and learnings from the people who have actually mastered it already. My late uncle used to tell me that sometimes or oftentimes listening to the wiser people is far better than reading books in terms of learning.
That's why podcasts are amazing now.
You don't strain your eyes. Nakinig ka lang, natuto ka pa, diba? Exactly. Salamat, diba? Diba? So, yung mga ganung bagay, I think it's easily overlooked, and I've always viewed the professional and even the personal life experience as a long game.
No,
Right?
absolutely.
And no compromises. You got to know when you're investing, and you got to know when you are harvesting. I was clear in my mind that, hey, you know what? At my fundamental years,
Mm.
right? I'm chasing learning. I am chasing skills in mastery.
Yeah.
It would have been convenient for anybody to just switch jobs, very quickly, left, right, and center for double, triple the pay. But I was saying that, hey, we got to stay the course. What is your objective? Right? The objective is to establish yourself as a reputable personality in
Absolutely.
the industry for the long term, right?
Correct.
And the payoff will happen. You chase the money. Again,
Wala.
maybe very difficult for people to understand this. You chase the money, right? You can end up
Yeah.
in a wrong rabbit
For
hole,
sure.
right?
For sure.
Right? And
Stay the course, and again, really double down, and again, work to learn, not to earn when you're young.
yep. And the rewards. I mean, I won't be a hypocrite. No, the rewards come, with with the mastery and the learnings that you have, because the market will perceive it. You would assume that decision makers such as you, as a CEO or a founder or as a partner, they are rational. They know who's got it and who doesn't.
Who contributes the most
Right?
to winning?
And that will unlock doors for you and options, so to
Correct.
speak.
All right, now let's take our first break, and when we come back, we will now talk about the second half of your career to Citi, and then all the way to your next stops, and of course, how that translated to becoming CEO of Singlife. But let's talk about that more after the break.
Hey hustlers, are you a busy entrepreneur juggling a ton of tasks while trying to keep your finances in check? Thinking of raising money from investors or lenders but have no idea how to start? Well, you are not alone. Managing business finances is tough. But don't worry, I got something for you. Introducing One CFO, the leading fractional CFO service and technology provider for SMEs, startups, and scale-ups in the Philippines. Whether you need help with financial management, fundraising strategy, or scaling up operations, their team of top-tier CFOs and their game-changing CFO tech platform have got you covered. And they're legit because I've heard about them from a lot of YC startups actually that got founded in the Philippines, because they've helped a ton of VC-backed startups, scale-ups, and some of the best SMEs in the country reach new heights. One CFO is your strategic financial partner, providing the insights, guidance, and the tools you need to make smarter decisions and drive growth. Plus, they offer personalized support tailored to what your business needs, no matter the size. And what's the best part? It won't break the bank. One CFO services are affordable and accessible to businesses of all sizes. So if you're ready to level up your business and finances, what are you waiting for? Schedule a free CFO consultation with One CFO. Visit onecfoph.co today. That's onecfoph.co today to get your free CFO consultation.
And we're back in the break. We are still with Lester Cruz, who then told us the amazing foundational stops that he did prior to, becoming Singlife CEO. But again, foundational stops. Before we took our first break, we mentioned about you being part of IEB, MT, and then now Citibank. But again, 15 years. That's like 3 lifetimes in a corporate.
Man.
We do it in 5s or 4s, diba? And
Yep.
you did that for 15 years. But I want to understand, so you now did mastery. You now saw the eventually the fruits of your labor and got the opportunities. Because eventually, the end game here is you became president and director in the in CFCI. Eventually, that's that's before you left Citi. But I want to understand, Buna, when you became a leader, walk me through how you evolved as a leader within the company. Because that's the thing about big corporations like this. In a startup and in corporate, leadership has common overlaps.
Yep.
But leadership, again, because you can be seen as a threat. Opportunities as you go up the ladder in a Citibank environment is scarce.
Yep.
How many thousands of employees are there
Yes,
who
yes.
wants to also come up the ladder? And there are going to be times that sometimes the people that you're going to be leading are former people that you're competing against over a certain position.
Yep.
Walk me through how you evolved as a leader, and still, despite all of these, let's just say, competition or borderline drama in between, how were you able to evolve and deliver?
Oh, okay. I mean, my transition, no, so to speak, in becoming, a leader is, I guess, just as challenging, no. if not more challenging than my first half of my journey from the time I've started.
Yep.
Because one, it's easy for anybody to think that, hey, you know what, I've been really successful so far and good at all the assignments that I've been given to. Then they make you a people manager, no? Then you realize that, man, this is not easy.
Nope.
And again, the humbling experience, and this I've openly shared to most of everybody. The very first manager review, meaning my people reviewing me as a manager and giving me rating. Horrible. I almost cried. Like, man, it's like, this is
It's like the devil. It's not like this is not me. Is this me?
This is so unfair.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, I'm quite a passionate person when it comes to all my dealings. And what I've learned also, the more passionate you are in one thing, the more it hurts when it hits you. So, like, ganito kasama ba talaga ako as a leader? Parang grabe kayo, parang, diba? Because I really, it would have been easier if I'd been negligent. But I really had genuine care and concern for the people.
Correct.
I really had the best of intent of the business. But even then, right? The reviews aren't looking that well.
Yeah.
And that's where I've learned that, hey, you know what? There are even more things that I needed to uncover and master outside tangible results.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day, I was made to realize that I was managing people who had emotions.
Not AI.
Not AI. And I realized that, maybe it's not such a big team at that time, but every single person that I am responsible for, they have families. And the kind of disposition that they bring back with them coming from work will have a trickle-down effect to the boyfriends, husband, wives, children. And that called for me to reevaluate my approach in things that right then and there realized that, hey, I need to create an environment where people feel comfortable, but yet still accountable on the things that need to be done. That it becomes a safer safer culture and environment that they can express their feelings.
Yeah.
That they can talk about their struggles, and I'd never view that as a weakness. Boss, I'm struggling with this. That ano ko ba naman, diba? Parang that people to me the strongest of people are the ones who are able to admit that they need help and they open up to the rightful people that they need help. So I needed to create that environment, and that's where the leadership my learning journey happened. As a leader, right? Then fast forward, a few more roles after, I realized, because I had the opportunity as well to work abroad. Maybe we can talk a bit about that later. But in Citi also, right? But as I have grown into bigger responsibilities, I realized that the people, everybody that I'm managing, are many years older than me. Right? Siyempre, mag-umpisa ka before. Like, maybe they're about the same my age. So some of them were my peers. But as I've grown into the responsibility, I was blessed to take on bigger responsibilities much earlier in my years. And like, they are...
And multicultural pa, if you're talking about Singapore.
And many years older than me. Like, the approach pala is different. Because, how you manage them, right? I realized that kailangan magmano eh. You're the boss, but you gotta be respectful as well, because at the end of the day, they've spent many more years than what you've had, and the convincing part, just like in sales, you'll have to you'll have to prove yourself over and again, because totoy, ano ka ba, diba? Parang hindi ka pa pinapanganak, nandito na ako, diba? So I needed to redo that credibility establishment in a much subtle way. Right, because the personalities are different. It's a different generation, right? And at the end of the day, you gotta earn their trust. So coming from a very difficult initial learning of being a leader, going all the way to ganun pala. These are the personalities that you you need to manage, and you got to be sensitive about that. And that I've carried through
That's
to,
amazing.
to this very time that I am, that helps me navigate around, people of, diverse backgrounds, different cultures in varying,
Mm.
varying levels of experience. Cannot be na, dahil CEO na siya. Hindi na tayo pinapansin, hindi na pinapansin yung mga, hindi na tayo pinapansin ng maliliit na mga tao, diba? So,
Right.
cannot also be like that. So, marami. I mean, it's like the social
Mhm.
aspect of it. As I was saying, the softer part of things, man, it required a lot from me
Mhm.
to learn and have a firm grasp.
That's amazing. Now, okay, again, 15 years almost here,
Mhm.
per se. A lot of people, when they go to a bank, I think there's a certain threshold that if you don't leave, you become a lifer. You're gonna be there forever, beginning to end. But eventually, you switch to another bank, CIMB,
Yep.
and that's what I want to find out. Okay, I'm pretty sure the pay was great. You're already in a really great position.
Mas
But see-
relax na kasi tumatakbo na
And
tumatakbo na.
you already built your whole legacy there
Yeah,
and career.
Mm.
But why did you choose to do CIMB Bank here in the Philippines? And walk me through what that felt. Because CIMB, for those who know, is one of the digital banks, one of the first, actually the first one.
We were the first.
To
We were the
get
first.
the digital
Yeah.
license here.
Yeah.
And again, Baro? Basta yun, the one who's swallowing Baro sa G.
G-Save and
G-Save.
G-Save and G-Credit is a
Yan, G-Credit. There you go. Saved me
CIMB
from a
product.
couple of toll fees that I didn't have Gcash. Alam, we have money. Okay, yun na lang.
Pwede.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm able to pay my toll fee. Okay, but I want to understand why you chose to jump ship and lead in a startup environment in the Philippines.
So sometimes I ask that question over and over again. No? But kidding aside, I've had the opportunity to create a meaningful impact, not just to the customers that we serve in the business that I've managed, but all throughout the industry. We're able to to launch a whole bunch of market firsts and never been seen solutions before the time when I was in Citi. But when my bosses have asked me, like, this thing that you've done really well, how can you scale it up? I told them that, hey, you know what, there's only so much that we can do in the kind of model that we have. We have to go digital. What really prompted me is digital was only a concept back in about 2018.
Yeah.
Right? I must tell you, Ron, when I jumped to take on a role in CIMB, people got concerned. Right? Well, did they kick you out because you're doing well? Because I was, and this
Lifer.
this one is, again, maybe not very many people would have experienced. I was the CEO of the Citi subsidiary, and everything was set up, and I had to join good P&L, good business, right? And I had to join a startup, a bank that is being established as digital only.
From ground zero.
Ground zero, not a household name.
Yep.
Negative P&L.
Woo-wee.
And listen to this. And I'm not the CEO. I wasn't the CEO. I was the, I was the business leader. I was the consumer banking
But
head.
still, you're not
right?
top dog.
But at the end of the day, I had to,
Step back a little bit.
step back a little bit. But I had an objective.
Okay.
Right? Because to me, the concept of digital at that time, I said I could only learn so much if the things are theoretical, minor implementation. For me, the only way that I'd be able to have full exposure is to jump into it. Right? So I jump into it, like, took out the safety nets. I've asked for the permission of my wife, by the way. Very important, right? We'll give up the corner office, and now I'm working in a workbench because this is a startup, right? So I didn't shy away from having to relinquish some of the privileges because I know it was a cheap price to pay for what I'm actually going for. It was clear in my mind.
And what was that?
To me, if I'd ask you, Ron, how many people do you know today, even to this very day, who've got solid background and experience on traditional finance and digital?
I don't even know. So, my financial advisor, hindi napapagod, hindi natutulog, ang bilis sumagot, ChatGPT. There you go. But it was self-learned. Oh my God. And I'm paying for a lot of the mistakes that I had to be, again, self-deprecating through, or again, a lot of these mistakes I accumulated in my 20s, I'm paying for in my 30s. Not like for example, not like taking care of my credit. Shit, I should have paid that on time pala. I didn't have to buy these things. And now my credit is out of whack. And I became an entrepreneur pa. So good luck sa cash flow. So all of these things are now I'm paying for. And it's hard to get the reputation back up in the financial system. Unless you become super duper liquid.
Yep.
Or you become super duper consistent and liquid. Because you need liquidity to be able to undo a lot of these mistakes before.
Yes.
But no, there's none. I don't even know because most Filipinos are really, really bad with money and financial advice. Majority of the time, we're a budol country. 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11. You spend what you don't have.
Yep.
Right? We're a consuming country. That's why all these loan apps and whatnot, people don't even invest in insurance, which is very, very important. Right? These are mistakes that are passed down, not just on your own, but also generationally.
Yeah.
Bad money advice comes from at home. They don't even talk about it.
They don't even talk about it.
Dude, I had to learn it on my own. Pinag-uusapan in our household is, uy, ang ganda ng sapatos ni ano. Right?
Those are the fun
Spending,
stuff.
like, oh my God. Yeah. But if we just talked about the right stuff, again, echoing what you just said, what financial advice? Zero. Wale. Okay? It does not exist. So that was the motivation in CIMB?
So to me, the primary motivation is I wanted to solve a bigger problem, right? Because I've been with Citi for you've said it like 15 years. I've covered for the most part of my career the affluent, right? And at some point you ask like if my customer like over 90% of the Filipino people I'm not able to serve, right? For the phenomenal and awesome solutions that I'm building.
Sayang.
Sayang yung opportunity. So, but when I jump into to CIMB, again we were talking about the underbanked, underserved. That's like there's just too many hurdles, for anybody to get decent financial services, and that was that was a legitimate pain point and demand that we needed to address. And I couldn't have addressed it, to be fair, with the previous company that I was connected to. I mean, as much as I really love the place.
There's just so many layers. And again, it caters to the top 1%.
Yep. So pagpasok ko dito, man, like quite frankly, if I remember correctly, yung business case namin maliit lang.
Okay.
Like we said, like we opened 10,000 accounts.
Okay.
Dami naman Pilipino. 10,000 accounts in a month. We're good already.
Wow.
No, but after one thing we've realized is that you built something really meaningful and something sensible.
Correct.
Oh man, it blew up the pipes. There were days that we were acquiring 10,000 accounts in a single day.
What?
In a single day. Right?
Wow.
And that one is like...
And this is before the pandemic.
Yeah, this was before the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, right? For the record, I wasn't thankful that the pandemic hit.
Right,
but when the pandemic hit, it validated the thesis.
Correct.
Uy, kailangan pala talaga. Kasi after a while, magda-doubt ka, di ba? Mag-startup, kailangan ba talaga kami dito? Gano'ng katagal pa kami dito? When the pandemic hit.
Boom.
Oh man,
right place, right time too.
When everybody was scared and the people are finding it really difficult to transact, man, that one really solidified the business case, so to speak, for digital financial services.
Yeah.
And that I'm really happy about. And we were able to create at that time the first true blue, open finance or open banking solution. That time it was G-Safe, nothing like that. And all the use cases on open finance and on open banking, not all but most, is predicated on that solution that we built. Even the very solution that I have in Singlife Philippines follows the same pattern as what we've done many years back. So, nakapag-invest na rin pala ako nung una kong ginagawa bago pa ako dumating ng Singlife.
It's a formula they already have that you can bring along with you regardless of where you go.
Yes.
Okay, last question before we take talk about, obviously, Singlife. Again, you also, aside from CIMB, you worked with another former Citi lifer. Okay, so I've had an opportunity to talk to Manish.
Okay.
Okay, on the podcast. Also shot in person in their office.
Yep.
I remember because I had a weird ass pimple during that time. So like, please don't zoom in. I have a big pimple. I remember that. But again, amazing thing. Another lifer. That's like, why the hell did you leave back? That's the same question. You were set.
Yep.
But again, is my thesis correct? Na a former Citi lifer talk to another Citi lifer, and what was that experience in Uno Digital Bank?
I guess it helped that that we spoke the same language, so to speak, and after being with the same company for very many years, we have common fundamentals and standards that we quite aligned. But I guess one of the bigger motivations for me, coming into Uno Digital Bank was that they convinced me, to be fair, that Les, you're gonna be able to have the opportunity, because I asked them, why would I decide to do everything that I've done already? Ulitin ko ulit, diba?
Round two, right? And what they told me without the GCash partnership,
which I brought also in Uno. Pinasok ko din, diba? May
shout out, Martha. Shout out,
Martha, right?
Okay.
So they told me like, you will have the opportunity to build the very a bank that is truly built from white paper. Kasi to be fair, CIMB was 5th largest in ASEAN.
Tama.
It might not be a household name. It might be first
But it
foray
came from
in Philippines,
Malaysia.
pero malaki na siya.
Correct.
Ito, white paper.
Zero.
Right? So,
Galing. 0 to 1.
It appealed to me. Okay, it had allowed me exposure to
Did the bossing say yes?
Yeah, they did.
No, I mean si Mrs. The real bossing.
Good that you asked that. We can talk more about that. I asked like, I don't know. I told my wife. Sabi ko, Carla, I don't know where their office is gonna be. Right? I don't know. All we have are papers. All we have are papers. Right? But I think so long as the payroll is being credited, I think we can stay. But I have gotten the approval from the ultimate CEO, which is
the
my
wifey.
wife.
This is what's different. So if you're a startup founder, you have a wife, okay, she will make that decision.
Sabi niya, kung papairalin yung pagka-presidente mo rito sa bahay.
You're always second lang. Okay?
Yeah. So
the wife makes that call. Okay?
So it appealed to me that, hey, you know what, maybe, because a lot of what we've done when I was in CIMB were, to be fair, the trial and error.
Yeah.
Right now, I know what landmines to avoid. I can do this more seamlessly, and it gives me the opportunity to manage and build one of the 6 digital banks that's been approved by BSP to operate. So there were a bunch of executions that I was able to redo, right, from the partnership side, but there are also new ones that I was able to establish on both on the deposit and the lending side. So it's a very good experience, and what taught me ibang level naman, the discipline. Mas tight kami sa pera kasi hindi to conglomerate. Hindi to conglomerate. This is not a conglomerate, no?
There's no mothership.
Yep. And you can ask Manish, yung bill shock sa SMS pa minsan, ilang daang libo, nagbabardagulan yung mga tao, di ba? So it created a different level of discipline, which, man,
every peso counts.
Yeah, right. So that appealed to me, and again, every single experience that I've had there, again, contributed to where I am today.
Okay, but you didn't stop there. You're Uno's solid, okay, and whatnot. But what led you, and how did this Singlife opportunity happen? Because again, you're CMO, tama ba? CMO, Franchet, right? Came from a competitor naman sa kabila. Right? From Salmon. Right? What made you want to also, again, take another 0 to 1, but here in Singlife? And
sure.
What were you trying to unlock at this point? Because I'm seeing the narrative now. The competitor in you, I see it. Like, okay, Petix na kaya. Where's the next adventure? Where will I unlock this next thrill that I want to unlock? And of course, every single time magpapaalam tayo kay Mrs.
So, ito, inapprovean niya to.
Ayan, very good.
Sabi ko, Han, ito may opisina na to. May opisina na.
may mothership.
May opisina na. Pwede mo bisitahin sa BGC, right?
What's in Singlife that why did you want to jump ship? And coming from banks, all of a sudden you're here in underwriting insurances. What made that shift?
Sure. I've not been a stranger actually to insurance. The last company that I managed as far back as Citi, Citi Corp, was distributing both investment and insurance. So I've always been a believer of insurance, and even way before this, financial awareness discussion has been happening. I've actually been picking up in insurance as far back as my mid in their early 20s. So I was really
that's rare.
A believer. And I'll tell you one thing. Most people don't know that that insurance as an industry in the Philippines has been around almost 130.
What?
Ganun katagal na. Panahon pa ng mga bayani natin, di ba? But
Rizal had
Bonifacio.
may nambudol kay Rizal.
1898, no? I wonder if our heroes were insured. No? Imagine. Right? Maybe the reason why some of them
Someone made a claim for Rizal's death?
Maybe that's why some of them were very brave, right? Because they had insurance, right? So,
wow.
Okay. So, again, despite being over a century-old industry, the insurance penetration in the Philippines is still below 2%. It's really it's bizarre. Below 2%, imagine mo, you're building a business for over 100 years as the penetration is like that. Then I told myself, man, it's a couple of things. There aren't, nearly enough players in the market who are actually, present and able to solve. I wouldn't say it's a gap, but a crisis. Right? Because imagine, some other services were born like, maybe barely a decade ago, the penetration mas malaki. But insurance, right? So there are not enough, players around there who are actually solving it or are not equipped, to be solving the insurance, crisis. And two, there's a legitimate need. Because coming from, if you take a look into the studies, from the unbanked, now if they're counting wallet, dati nag-umpisa tayo parang below 30%. Right? Not even having, only about 30% having a bank account. Now, if you include the wallets, right? Medyo mataas na eh.
Correct.
So technically, the foundation has been, and the course has been set, the foundation is there. You'll just need to run through. And I am confident with, with even our partners, and the people that I've worked, with before, will continue with the mission.
Tama.
Right now, ito, yung insurance, there aren't as many. That's why for us, our, truly, the mission of Singlife, Philippines is to provide a better way to financial independence. Because it's not just about having a bank account.
Nope.
It's, having that sense of security on the events that we call maybe unexpected, but they're really expected. Right?
So,
I mean, that's
inevitable.
a strange thing. It's inevitable. So that had drawn me, right? Oh, there's a bigger problem to solve. Right. Imagine that, I think last number I remember is 1.68% penetration. And if I'm able to bring that number, right, to maybe double digits, and it had a snowball effect. Siguro bago ko maging lolo, right, I can look back in the day. Hey, we've made a difference back in the 2020s, right, that allowed the industry to flourish in this manner, and that has really great appeal to me.
I love it, and I love that you make it again. You go after the harder challenge, because again, generational misinformation and disinformation about how to look at the dark days, and it also cultural in nature. I've seen it. Filipinos don't really brace themselves for the rainy days.
Yep.
And when it hits them, my God, it can ruin a whole family and generations moreover. Because that same money that you could have actually spent to buy insurance per se is something you spent to buy what? A patek?
Actually, bubuti nga kung meron kang nabibili. But you know what is heartbreaking for me all the time? In a typical year, I get, in a typical month, maybe I get at least bare minimum 1 or 2 past the hat solicitation on somebody who is in financial need.
GoFundMe,
right? I mean,
whatever.
Yeah, for one, it's it must be very difficult for the person to have to, I use
beg.
the term, to beg, for a very basic need that they need to fund, and it causes strain not just to the person who's asking for help. Kasi ikaw, kung gusto mong tumulong, lalo na kung mahal mo sa buhay, kasi hindi ka makatulong, you're
Sakit
affected
eh.
also eh. You're affected also. So, again, I think what makes my journey in Singlife now compared to the earlier journeys that I have is this one, other than, creating and addressing a real need or a gap or a crisis, there's a lot of emotion attached to it.
Wow.
At the end of the day,
You're talking about human lives.
yeah, lives. I mean, a typical person, even for those the really successful hustlers that you've interviewed, they will come to a point in time that, hey, you know what? If I'm not insured, how much money will I spend, and how much money will I leave?
Yeah.
Right? When
It can wipe you out.
When in fact it could be a simple decision. You know what? Kids, I'll spend everything that I have because for sure when I die, I'll still have something to pass on to you.
Exactly.
Which would not have cost so much if the careful planning have started way ago. But again, a lot of the deterrence, part of what we represent, we're eliminating to, again, to bring that better way of, of financial independence to the Filipino people, no matter who you are, whether you're in the affluent segment, whether you're in the underserved and underbanked, we're here for you.
Yeah,
Singlife Philippines, right?
I love it. And again, totally agree because I've seen both sides of the coin. I've seen what you've mentioned. I know this guy to be very affluent, very forthright. We were being able to, are able to really dodge major bullets. But if it hits you and it becomes life-changing and becomes terminal that nobody will see coming. And again, inevitable, everybody will die. Everybody will have to go through a health crisis, right? But what separates those ones who are able to tackle, because there's two sides of it that I typically see. And let me know if this is correct.
Sure.
When shit hits the fan and you get into a financial crisis, I mean, not financial crisis, health crisis.
Health crisis.
There's two aspects of it, right? Obviously, the health crisis itself, the ailment, hopefully it's something that's not terminal, you can cure. And the financial aspect of it, right? I've seen both sides of the coin where, okay, like exhibit A that you said there, okay, may sakit ka na nga. And then the look in your face, like, how the hell am I going to fucking pay for this shit?
Yeah.
And instead of you're focusing on getting well,
you're getting more sick, right? Because you're worried about...
Allah, I'm here for a couple more days, blah, blah, blah. I don't have HMO or whatever insurance that covers things. It just becomes a double whammy because you're dealing with the health scare plus the financial aspect of it.
Yes.
I've seen families who were, again, ready. Even in the end game where they passed on. But they were ready. The aura that I saw in that family is like, yes, they're grieving. They're hurt. Pero they weren't worried about the outcome of how they did it. And they on the wake, they even said, we're grateful because we did this. It's a totally different conversation.
Yep.
And that was such a wake-up call for me. Like, shit. Something happens to me, and I'm an entrepreneur. The one thing constant about entrepreneurship is you are the living epitome of risk. We are risk in the flesh.
Yeah.
Okay?
Walking around.
Yes. And if you are the living epitome of risk and you are not covering the basis, which is your family, your health, and everything else in between, one false move, everything can be gone.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck. If something happens to me, what I want to be able to do, and I'm still working on this Singlife, thank you.
Unti-unti lang.
Yeah.
Hindi ka lang bigla yan.
And it doesn't have to be a one-time big time. You can start small, cover those little, just like in baseball, it doesn't have to be a home run or a grand slam. Take many base hits muna.
Unti-unti, diba?
Until you load up the bases, and then when you're ready, boom.
Yep.
But dude, that's just an eye-opening thing. But you know what? What's common? Exhibit A, I'd say 95% of the time is what happens. Exhibit B, that's the only time I saw that. Man, I want to be like that. And yeah, it's just that person that I'm saying is someone that I look up to. Super, that even in death, I still look up to him of how that was covered.
Yep. No, but because for us, really, there are identified reasons on why such is actually the case that we're observing. No? Because historically, insurance has been viewed as very intimidating. Very intimidating. Again, there's a
and
whole
the way it's sold too.
The way it's sold too. No? Parang, bibili ka ba?
Kape tayo.
Right? and back to my point, this is probably one of the main reasons why the penetration has not grown. Right?
Got it.
Because at the end of the day, and when I came to Singlife, we were asking a moment ago, if I'm gonna do what everybody else is doing, right, then it will only lead up to exactly the same results that I have. That's why I tell my team,
War
like
of attrition.
No, for us, to see results never been seen before, we gotta do things never been done before.
I have an idea for you. I'll share with you later during the break.
Right? Then for us to have that, and if we're able to do it right, we will see impact never experienced before. And that's why to me we're revolutionizing, the not revolutionary, redefining. So the concept of of insurance. Kasi when I came, I always say this in multiple forums. When I came to Singlife Philippines, I told them, hey guys, we're not gonna sell insurance. And people were scared, like, are you threatening us of our job? No.
Right.
We're not gonna sell insurance, but we're gonna be selling experience instead.
Bingo.
Right? So we build the experience, allow the customers, right? And this, we do it with high conviction. Allow the customers to come into the platform for them to experience insurance, even not using their own money. Right? We give, we call this concept Singlife credits that allows, our new customers when they come on board to choose and purchase, products that are within our Singlife Plan and Protect app that they can try. If they like what they see, if they like the experience, they can start pulling out their money and funding it and continuing to pay for it.
Try now, pay later.
Right? Hindi, try lang.
Try lang, okay.
Try lang. If you want, you can pay later.
Yeah, try now, pay later.
Yeah, but and it gives us very good insights because as we see the data flowing in, right? The tall task that I have to the entire Singlife team is that we'll have to be building solutions that are worth being considered.
Love it.
Because if people are not picking it up, people are not remaining persistent, maybe there's work that that we need to do so that they are convinced that it's for them. But at the end of the day, what this insurance experience will do to the Filipino people is that number one, insurance won't be a foreign concept to them, and number two, they realize that if I need it, right? Because some people, tutuloy ko na. My experience ko na. Some people, I'm not yet ready. They know where to find us. Right? And some people, maybe they'll provide us feedback. Then, again, we will take that, very seriously. And, we will address that. But, at the end of the day, right, the only way that we could change this low penetration is for people to be able to experience, I will call it present benefit. Alam natin, death benefit. Diba? May death benefit. Diba? Pag namatay, bayad. There's this living benefit. I call it sometimes very living benefit kasi nabulag, nasakta, napilay na hospital. Diba? May masamang, there had to be something bad that had happened, right, for them to benefit. And now, we have introduced the concept of present benefit. Our Singlife account, which is it works like a savings facility within the app. It pays up to 15% net. What? And on money that doesn't need to be locked. I mean, you can put it in there, leave it there, and earn. Kung kailangan mo, ilabas mo. We're the only insurance company who's got InstaPay capabilities. Right? I mean, parang we are an insurance company, but we are not just an insurance company. There are other things that we are creating as a solution to integrate ourselves into the life of the people. Kasi parang hindi siya awkward. Na parang pupunta ako para bumili lang ng insurance para magbayad ng premium. Parang doesn't make sense. It has to be integrated into the lives of the customers that we serve, and we continue to work tirelessly to make sure that that continues to bring value to the people that we serve.
And galing, that's amazing. Now let's take our last break, and when we come back, we will now talk about how the Singlife team has also been crafted under Lester's command, and of course, we'll talk about athlete life. Because at the end of the day, he's super competitive, super batak. All right, and I want to talk about that because leadership and being an athlete, being able to take care of yourself, translates well to becoming an entrepreneur. Of course, the advice that we have for fellow founders and leaders that we can learn from Lester. Let's talk about that more after the break.
Hey hustlers, before we resume the episode, let me tell you a very quick secret. Do you guys ever wonder how we're able to consistently release episode after episode here in Hustleshare without missing a date over the past 3 years? Well, it's not just pure hustle, because I'm also running my podcast along with me running my startup full time. Now, for some of you who have listened to this podcast, you guys very well know that I created a startup that is designed to help the best podcasters in Southeast Asia to realize their full potential, which is called Podcast Network Asia. And over the past couple of years, we've achieved quite a lot in P&A, helping hundreds of podcasters create world-class episodes consistently. However, what we realize is that we are not really solving the real problem of all podcasters in the world if we're not going to productize the thing that we're very good at, which is helping podcasters solve the two main pain points of a podcaster, which is number one, nobody really likes to edit their own show. Especially if you're listening to your own voice. Just like me, I cringe a lot. Having to listen to my voice for 3 to 4 hours just to release a 1-hour episode. It's no fun. And then the other thing is that most podcasters, just like me, are absolutely clueless on how to properly grow their show, which is something that we have perfected in Podcast Network Asia. So we've decided to put this all in one product that helps any podcaster in the world create world-class shows that people will love and will continuously grow. And that's why we created Pod Machine. Pod Machine is the most affordable podcast subscription service that helps you with your podcasting needs. We've got everything from audio production, crafting designs, and marketing and growth support. So as a podcaster, you can now just focus on the thing that matters the most, creating great content for your listeners. So, if you are an existing podcaster or someone that actually wants to create their podcast now, no need to worry. You got a founder's discount by listening here on Hustleshare. So sign up now at podmachine.com. And aside from the free trial that you're going to get as a new user, I'm throwing in another one free edit as soon as you sign up for just as low as $49.99 USD a month to start creating a consistent and world-class podcast. Again, that's podmachine.com and use the code Hustleshare to get your founder discount. So if you have friends that are podcasters and if you want to have a podcast just like this, y'all know what to do. So just go and talk to you guys in Pod Machine.
And we're back in the break. We are still with Lester Cruz that told us the amazing journey and how, again, from the banker life to insurance, obviously going into Singlife now. But totally understand now how Singlife was such an attractive thing. And again, that's a sign of an entrepreneur. That even if you're an entrepreneur, you want to take on the next big challenge where the odds are not in your favor.
Yes.
Again, risk is our life.
Yeah.
Whether you're founder or not, doesn't matter. CEO is a tough job to do. And that's what I want to understand, because people always think that founder, CEO are the same job. It's not. But a lot of people want to be called CEO, but the CEOs that you see on social media, yung mga nagpapakit dyan, yung mga the ones who have all the time in the world, that's not what we do. Can you just describe, as a CEO of Singlife, what are the things that make you make you lose sleep at? What are the things that you actually do on a day-to-day so that we actually know what one normal CEO actually does? Not the social media CEO. Because by the way, you don't just label yourself CEO. Yes, you can, technically. But in a normal institution, in a normal organization, the shit is earned. Even in startup life, I always say it, and at least from a 0 to 1 startup, founder and CEO are two different jobs.
Yeah, for sure.
Two different jobs. As a founder, your job is to actually create a problem solution fit, core team, release product. If you're a startup, tech startup, raise some funding. Prove that this business can work. But the moment you start hiring X amount numbers of people, like 10 and above, that's when you start wearing that CEO hat. That's where the drama comes in. That's where the people dynamics come in. That's where every single thing that comes out of your mouth matters. And where the buck stops with you. That's when you worry about payroll. Oh my God. and worry about direction. That if they fail, you can't point fingers. The
Yes,
buck
yes,
stops with
definitely.
you. All the arrows aim at your head. From a insurance, I mean, you've been president, CEO before as well, but describe to me, what is a normal CEO work like, and what are the things that you worry about, and how do you navigate the dynamics to make sure that the team operates to achieve the vision that you set forth?
Sure. Well, one of the very first challenges that I need to hurdle up is actually managing the schedule, right? Because you're a startup founder and CEO. It's so easy for you to get sucked into
Oh my God.
every single thing.
I
that
need
is
48
happening,
hours in a day.
right? So really having that wisdom on how I could best utilize
Mhm.
my time in the day
Yeah.
is always a priority, for me. And while sometimes it's quite convenient for us to, parang hindi magawa, di ba? Papasok ka na lang.
Yep.
I have to balance that out as well. And but right now I'm asking more questions like, do you guys really need me
Yeah.
to be in that meeting, or how will I add value to that meeting? So it's really applying. We can apply ourselves in many different fronts.
Yeah.
But how I am able to apply myself in the most critical and most value adding situations and circumstances that a company deals with in a day is always at the top of my mind. Right? That, I'd have to have that that wisdom.
Yeah.
So to speak. And to your question on what keeps me up at night is I think more on the personal side, quite frankly, right? Because more than just being a CEO, I'm also a husband and tao din. I'm also a husband and a father of sabi ko nga, I have two kids and one wife, right? So,
Yeah.
so I'm I have a
That's a full-time job too.
yeah. I have a and then sometimes when people talk about things na hindi nanay kasi siya. When there are demands at the
Right.
work, I wanted to level the playing field na hindi may mga tatay din dito eh.
Yep.
And to me that what keeps me up at night and how I'm able to from the schedule, how I'm able to not let go also on the importance of managing my role as a husband and a father. My kids, especially right now, I have a 9 and one who's about to turn 7. These are this is a very critical
Foundational.
years for them, and how I'm able to balance it out.
Correct.
I think is an everyday struggle for me, and I'm glad that I have the amazing support of my team to help me navigate around that, because at the end of the day, you're asking as well on how I particularly guide and manage the team. The very first instruction that I give to the team is that whatever we're doing, we'll always have to think and act. If you're asking me for for an approval to make dispense on any particular initiative, I'll ask you just the same question. No? If it's your own money, you're gonna be spending it the same way. And hit or miss, sometimes they fall back. Oh, boss, let me come back to you.
Yeah.
And that I think is what allows us to become more effective.
Yeah.
In the work that that we do. We can always use additional and extra resources.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, the best ideas, best executions come from the proper thought process.
Yeah.
And and the proper principles behind the concept. So really from there, the managing the schedule, I wouldn't say work-life balance, because right now everything is integrated. I call it as a trade-off.
Yep.
Right? So some people call it a balance, that the time you don't spend in the family
Wala.
is the time you spend time you spend at work is a time that you're not spending with the family. And how you're able to
Balance.
manage I wouldn't pretend that I've quite figured it out. To this
it's
very day,
hard.
I continue to learn.
I totally agree. And same with me. Like I'm an only child, right? Raised by a single mom. But there's 3 things I want to be good at in life constantly. I want to be a great founder, a great leader in PNA, right? Number 2, I want to be a great husband, and I want to be a great son. Those are the 3 things I will not compromise for. Everything else is secondary. So yes, unfortunately, these 3 things I have to balance out within a 24-hour span. I don't know how I'm gonna get that done. Some days I'm gonna be more of a son. Some days I'm gonna be more of a husband. Most days I'm I'm a slave in my own company that I've created. But I love it anyway. But again, trade-offs. You're absolutely
Hey,
correct.
it can be, again, as my wife would always tell me, it can be quite addicting, no? Right? I
Yeah.
mean, you pretend that, you complain. You
Yeah.
complain. But at the end of the day, you look for it.
Yeah.
You look for it, which...
You'll still show up.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's, that's what is the trickiest part, no?
Correct.
Of the work that, that we do.
Okay, couple things before we let you go and ask you about advice. Let's give your team flowers. Because here's, again, CEOs, just describing what a CEO life is. Before we even talk about flowers, I just want to tell you this. The real CEOs, CEO of a corporation, okay, they're not the top boss. Oh, diba? Like, CEO's not the top boss. Yes, we're not. We report to the board.
Yes.
There is an institution called the board who manages and calls the shots for the whole company.
Yep.
And the board
And we serve at the pleasure of the board.
Yes. Akala nyo bossing na kami. It's not. We have a board. And the board is led by the chairman of the board. Sometimes the CEO is the chairman of the board. But sometimes it's not. Right? And it's determined. And this is like your old like around 3 to 5 people, depende on how that is. And you report to them. We're not the bossing. Okay? But we define the direction, but you report to them. So if you're claiming to be CEO and wala kang board, paano yun? Again, just describing.
Kung wala sa bahay meron.
yeah, board.
One person board.
Blackboard. No, but yeah, that's how this is. That's why there's checks and balances. That's why the best CEOs I know, humble. Because they know it's not like you can't be a tyrant and just be, okay, I'll do this. There's a board you report to.
Yes.
And whatever the wins, the losses, and everything else in between, you report that whenever there's a board meeting.
Yes.
So there's checks and balances here. But let's go one layer down. Because success is a team sport.
Yes.
No, you can't do this. Oh, CEO, you're not. Batman cannot win alone. Superman cannot win alone. You need the Justice League. You need superheroes for you to have a chance to win. Describe to me who are the other Justice League or Avengers around you, and how were you able to form this team that allow you to do what you do?
Sure. We're not a very big team, no. We have the main functions that you'd see in a typical company, but what I think sets us apart, or sets us differently, as a management team is that the people and the personalities that are currently holding on to the key positions in Singlife Philippines are like-minded.
Yeah.
Right? Pare-parehas kami ng, again,
Carved out of the same cloth.
They are, there are similarities in values. We share, the same visions. We may not necessarily think, the same way, all the time, right?
That's weird, by the way. If you think the
Yes.
same way, you need to have contrast.
Right? And, so some of them may be more, open as a competitive person.
Yep.
Some, maybe I call it closet competitive, but seemingly, I think, most of them, if not all of them,
Palag pa rin.
are, hindi pa patalo, right?
Yeah.
Gusto may ambag, right? So, that gives me comfort, no? That, that at the end of the day, as we, mature as an organization, our ability to execute just becomes, sharper and sharper. And I've been very vocal, to my team in saying that, I will try to, not try, but I would always raise the bar.
Yeah.
Of standard that we need to
Pace
deliver for
setter.
the company.
Yeah.
Ano yun eh. It's part of the job description.
Correct.
Right? And oftentimes it becomes a bit difficult kasi you'll have to, we'll have to stretch them.
Yeah.
Not to break them.
Nope.
Not to break them. Stretch, but not for the purpose of breaking. And I always
Stretch
share,
for them to grow.
Yeah, to grow. Because I always share to the people, and even when we do the town halls, I often talk about it, that, my job as a CEO in Singlife Philippines is to provide, the best opportunities to our best people. And my wish and prayer and hope is that I will never run out of the best opportunities for our best people. But even then, that circumstance happen, I'd be more than happy, to see, one of our very own, set up camp and build, a new tribe and, and flourish into, into another, entity that's going to be contributing value to the ecosystem. And to me, that's, very important. And we try internally to, to break away that I don't want here, a leadership that is autocratic.
Nope.
I don't want to hear, hindi, yun ang sabi ni Lester, gawin nyo na lang. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And, what I always remind people is that number one, we need to do what we need to do, not just because we're paid salary,
Nope.
right? Not just because it's your responsibility, because I always tell them that you need to do it not just for our mission, not just for the company, but you need to do it for yourself as well. If you're talking about sports, the most dominant example, NBA players, yes, they play to make the franchise win. But you think they're playing only for the franchise? They're also playing for themselves because they want to grow.
Correct.
And they want to create opportunities for themselves as well.
Yep.
And the last piece that I always also share with the team is, as we try to navigate, the differing personalities, that we have, is that I always say that I want to be the most predictable person in the room. I don't want to be surprising anybody. I don't want to be spooking everybody. You got to know what would make me happy. You want to know, I want everybody to know what's going to, make me unhappy.
Mhm.
And I want everybody to know the values that I will never, ever compromise. And that, no debate. No debate. I'll tell people that, hey, you know what? Integrity and hard work will have to be always present. The moment you have any compromise, I'm sorry, it'll be very difficult for me to reestablish that. So let's just be open and transparent. And I'm a person also.
Mhm.
Sometimes and so some of my guys, sometimes I get really worked up and upset.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes I raise my voice, but I make it a point to apologize when I
Yes.
when I know and I'm accountable that I have behaved in
Mm.
a manner that is not honorable.
Mm.
I tell them, guys, I'm very sorry.
Mm.
I can always say that there are reasons for me to get upset and they are
Yeah.
all valid, but that's beside the point.
Mm.
There are, again, these are people, right? And these are part of those things that I continue to try to learn
Yeah.
and mature up as as the days go by and
Mm.
as the complexity of the circumstances are thrown at me, and hopefully hopefully by God's grace I'll figure it out.
No, for sure. And again, this is a constant evolution of us as well. I mean, I agree. I had a temper. Still I have, but I learned how to mellow it down. It's still cut across. Like before, I was like, man, it's so easy for me to snap. But apparently, it's actually more, I'd say it has more impact when I just stare and just are silent. It cuts deeper for some
Yep.
reason.
Yep.
Like, man, I like instead of like rah, go haywire and
Yep,
whatnot.
yep, yep.
No, dude, I just like I've learned how to mellow down and say what I wanted to say.
Yep.
And what I need to get across without having to lose my temper. That's a new version of me. It's not the
Very
final
good.
version,
No,
but I also had to pay the price
Yeah.
of me having some burnt out. Like,
we are evolving. We are evolving, and
Correct.
I try to encourage people to everybody across levels to be very
Mm.
open.
Yeah.
To me in providing feedback, and I always say, I mean, if for whatever reason,
Yeah.
I would have hurt anybody's feelings, and you let me know. I'd be the first one to apologize. I don't wake up in the morning, papasok ko sa Singlife, sasakit ako ng feelings, right? We don't do those things. No?
Yes.
But again, it's easy to be misunderstood, right?
That comes with leadership.
Yeah. But you balance it out. You stuck your ground when you need to. To stick on your ground, and that's just it. We're never perfect, but ultimately, what I try at my best to make my people feel is that this is 100% pure,
Correct.
right? That
Genuine.
and I always say that the very things that you complain about me are probably the same things that my wife is complaining about
No,
at home.
for sure.
And the same things that you're happy that I'm able to do are the same things that no two personas.
Correct.
It's common, by the way, for professionals that
Yep.
there are two personas, not sustainable, not healthy, and not effective to some extent.
No, for
So
sure.
me, single person, single values works best for me.
No, totally agree. And again, the best leaders are humble. And you show humility by coming clean. My bad. And if your leadership is like that, that flows down. Like, no conceited. You don't need to be conceited just because you're the top dog. Again, you always are accountable anyway.
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a board, okay?
Yeah.
A real CEO has a board to report to.
There's God. There's God. Also, there's God. There's God.
Diba?
There's
Yun,
God.
ever present. Somebody's watching, so you can't be a tyrant for this, and you gotta pull through. Now, last 3 questions. You're an athlete. Used to be an athlete. I'm a fathlete now. Okay. That's my sport, eating. But I used to play varsity basketball in high school, and whatever I learned there, I still carry. Being sacrificing, hard work, teamwork, everything else in between. But walk me through. Again, I remember I was supposed to interview you last week, but you were in a race pala.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'm pretty sure.
I'm in races like almost every week, if not every other week. And,
Ayan. So if you see someone running, it's wearing a Singlife shirt. Siya yun siguro. Just kidding. No, but walk me through how being an athlete also translates being a good leader and a good CEO, because it's a gift that keeps on giving. Again, for me, before, especially during the pandemic, I became a biker.
Oh, wow.
But I broke my leg.
You're the Tito biker.
Yeah, Tito biker. And then now I'm just going to break in everybody biked during the pandemic, bro. So
there was a shortage of bike, actually. I couldn't buy bikes for my kids. Right? So.
Yeah, but dude, what's the beauty about it is that before, during the pandemic, when I still can afford to bike because I'm just at home, man, it was a double win. Because I get to bike, and that's my time to listen to a podcast. Like yun, I get to space out. And after my bike, my co-founders would hate me. You know why? Because most likely I have a new idea.
Oh, yeah. I could relate. I could very well relate.
Okay, you're talking to me about this new good idea. I'm like, Madam, are you free for a call? I want to run this by you. Blah, blah, blah. But every single time, I get to exercise not just my heart, my muscles, but my brain. Like, oh, shoot. I needed that time to space out. Because if you're just, stuck through the hustle and bustle, you're not able to zoom out. Hard. Walk me through the benefits of what being an athlete, and tell us a story also. What sport do you actually play?
Sure. I just like you, I played in a competitive basketball.
Yeah.
Back in high school, and my team.
Which school?
Lourdes.
Which one?
Mandaluyong.
Okay, the old boys.
Mandaluyong.
Yeah.
Right? And
very competitive. All boys school pa. Okay.
And my guys know that I never aspired to be a CEO. They know this. I just wanted to be a basketball player. Hindi NBA, PBA lang.
Yeah. Everyone wanted to be.
Just want to be playing the PBA, but the Lord has other plans.
Wala eh. We're not breast bro.
You can't ball. You sell insurance, right? But kidding aside, I continue to play, right? Not as much as as before, but pero kahit intercorporate league yan, competitive pa rin, right? Competitive, right? I think it's in the nature. So, I've done biking as well. But right now I'm more focused on running. Right, I've had the opportunity to run my first World Marathon Majors in Sydney.
What?
Right, a couple of weeks back.
During winter in Sydney, parang cold as winter.
Parang tumatakbo ka, naka-aircon, right? And so we've been focused a lot on running, and maybe too bad or too good for my team, and I brought the company as well into the running space. We are by the way, doing the Philippine Marathon Majors, right? And we are actually the title sponsor of it's called the Singlife Philippine Marathon Majors.
Swerte nyo, runner yung CEO.
And in the coming year, very excited kami. I'll just share before I go down into the detail. We will have a race in Cebu, Davao, Iloilo, Cagayan de Oro, and Clark. Right? Because we want to be able to reach out outside Luzon, right?
Wow.
And it's gonna be fun, right? Because we're serious in espousing a responsible living and a healthy lifestyle and well-being. Out of these races, we're gonna be providing free insurance before, during, and after the race. Tatakbo na lang yung mga atleta. Natatakbo na lang yung mga atleta. So anyway, back to
Hindi kayo binentahan. Hindi kayo pinagkape.
Hindi, wala. Hindi hinarang. Hindi kayo hinarang, diba?
Hindi binudol.
Wala. So I found myself into running because my schedule has actually become more and more hectic, no. So I realized that running could actually be a low maintenance sport.
Yeah.
My wife always laughs at me because I sleep in my running clothes.
Wow.
So no excuses na. Pag gising ko, sapatos na lang, takbo na. Right? So I
stretching? You don't stretch?
nag-stretch ako kasi sa edad natin, di ba?
Yeah, everything hurts.
Kailangan. Sometimes the stretching is as long as the run, right?
Exactly. Dude.
Right?
Diesel yan eh.
Right? But at least there's again the low maintenance of it. You don't think anymore. Like you have no excuse. You're running. You just put
ready.
on the shoes, and how it contributes, I guess, to my life in terms of the responsibilities that I need to fulfill. First and foremost is the discipline. Right? It's the discipline is a bitter pill to swallow. But the moment you're able to swallow it, it unlocks a lot of it makes a lot of things easier for you when you have discipline.
Yep.
Right? So and just like you, when I run at least 5 times a week. I do races usually on the
How
weekends.
long per run?
This morning I did about 10 kilometers. No?
What?
Right? So that's a usual morning for
That's
me.
already a commute going to
Yeah. So sometimes when I stuck in traffic,
Takbo na lang.
pag tinakbo ko na lang, mas mabilis pa. No? So on Sundays, I race because we do on the ground work.
Wow.
For Singlife as well. And I have to, again, be leading as by example. No?
Correct.
And like you, when I run, the best ideas, no? The best ideas don't come, during board meetings, no, and boardroom meetings. It comes when I'm running.
Moments of clarity.
Yeah. So I enjoy that, but again, the competitive spirit is still there.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess the second part that where it helps out is I still continue to push myself.
Yes.
Right. And pushing myself is what I share with my team, that it is always beneficial to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yep.
Hey, when you're running, or even when you're biking, there'd be moments that you're uncomfortable, but you want to sustain it.
Correct.
Right? And that feeling of sustaining the uncomfortable for as long as you can sustain it trickles down all the way to the work that we do. The work that we do is not easy. And the last benefit that I have is, again, being in sound mind and body allows me to weather out the very huge and enormous pressures that I face on a typical day, right? Because it's just gonna consume me. If I'm not in the best, if I'm not in the better shape, a typical day with the problems, with the challenges, it's just gonna consume me. That's why I encourage everybody to start with something that they're interested in, whether it's a sport, exercise, calisthenics, or whatnot. It's truly beneficial, not just for the mindset, but there are lasting impact,
for sure.
Right? As
you add years to your life.
As we age. So those are the things. No? I mean, very very practical, but at the same time enjoyable. And the most enjoyable part is that you have an excuse to be buying all this
swag and gear,
like
athleisure.
Kasi niloloko ko ng mga tao. Sabi ko, Han, baka may makakita sa akin. Nakakahiya naman, diba? Kailangan ko atang bilhin to. So,
Bomero Premium.
Bagong labas na, mga ganun. So, it's fun. Right? In the same way, we try to make, the insurance, fun as well. That people are making money, people are able to do their thing, is, just makes it easier for everybody.
I love it. Now, again, thanks so much, Lester, for such an amazing episode. But before I let you go, what should people look out to invite people over to check out what you guys have in Singlife? And if they want to work with you, where do they go and how do they do that?
Sure. First and foremost, if you don't have the Singlife Plan and Protect app just yet, then download it in the App Store and Play Store. Right? As I mentioned a moment ago, it will provide you with we have the welcome offers, no? Right? Even before you put out your own money, Singlife is already giving you money to experience insurance. There's absolutely zero reason for anybody today to not experience insurance. So, take the experience. It's free, right? Discover it for yourself. And the moment you become familiar, you become comfortable, you can start enrolling in the paid services that addresses your real need, no? So that is to me, I think one of the challenges that that I want to be able to overcome.
Yeah.
That I want to have as many people to know that these phenomenal offers and benefits are within their reach. And of course, every Sunday we are partnered with Run Rio.
Yeah.
Right, so
Coach Rio.
Coach Rio, the Run Rio events, we're present there, right? And please do make it a point that to visit our booth whenever you run any of the Run Rio races, and do look out for the 2026 Singlife Philippine Marathon Majors all over the Philippines. And there, I mean, to me again, gusto lang namin masaya. We just want everything to be fun and light to carry. Right?
That's amazing. Now, before I let you go, Lester, follow us on whatever podcast app you're listening to, whether Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, where you can actually listen to this and actually see our clips, and even on LinkedIn. But before, also, if we did say some jargon, it's going to be the show notes on hustleshare.com. And also, thank you to the big premium supporters of Hustleshare that allow us to create content like this for 6 years and running.
Amazing.
I will never. This is my running.
Yeah.
My
6
sport
years,
is
man.
podcasting, bro. I've never stopped every single
very good,
week.
very
Ayan, that's where I'm a pro at. The loudest and pinakamaingay in the room. But again, Lester, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Juan, and I'm glad to be here, and I've enjoyed our conversation.
Sounds good. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.